we have to make sure that we realize we don't fix them. So when we come in contact with a loved one and that, the best thing that we can do initially is to be a good listener, to be willing to sit down if if we have that type of personality, to sit down, to listen, to let them talk, maybe to laugh with them, to cry with them, to hold their hand, whatever at that moment is needed. But the one thing they don't need is us trying to do things in our time frame when we need to let them have their time frame.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say, and Nancy, I'm sure, has some things to say, is something to avoid is don't say, I know how you feel. It's one of the things that I think almost universal when people come is they say, they don't know how I feel. How can they say that? And it hurts them somehow, that you don't really understand how I feel.
Dismissing it almost. Like
Yeah.
minimizing it.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the hardest people to talk to are the loved one, your family. They have this expectation that you can get through grief fast and don't understand why it's lingering on in your life. But until you've had a spouse and lost a spouse, you don't know what walk they're walking. Until you've lost a child, you don't know how they're dealing with it. And so the best thing, like Scott said, is just to be a good listener. The other thing is that, we've had a lot of people in our GriefShare classes that have told us that nobody even asks me how I'm doing, or they never mention my loved one.
Yeah.
They love to hear their loved one's name.
Yeah.
They love to hear stories about their loved one, and they're not afraid to talk about their loved one. Too many times we think, if we say something that we're going to make them cry or we're going to upset them. But chances are, if you don't talk to them about their loved one or bring their name up or something to that sort, it's just as offensive.